Hello ladies, welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited to have you back. Today's video is going to be about me, a little story time. I'm going to be opening up about my adoption and letting y'all know how it was for me growing up as a young girl, as a teenager, what I had to go through knowing that I was adopted and the different life challenges that I had to face. I hope that y'all enjoy. I hope that I can be able to share light on y'all situations or share light on anything that y'all may be going through. I really hope that y'all take from this story, take from this testimony and apply it, and just know that no matter what you're going through, no matter what life throws at you, you are powerful, you are great, and you can overcome, and you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. Let's get into the video. So growing up for me was very difficult at times. It was very challenging. It was very difficult, I must say. I began to live my life with a lot of hurt, a lot of pain, a lot of anger. I became very rebellious and disrespectful. I started to act out in school, and it just started to take a really big toll in my life. As a young girl, you don't really know how to accept the fact or put your mind around the fact that, you know, you are adopted and someone else is raising you other than your biological mother. So I was 8 years old when I found out that I was adopted. My mother and I was laying down, and she came to my side of the bed and she said, "Baby, you know I love you. You know you are mine. I don't see you no different. You are my baby." And she began to tell me about me being adopted. At 8 years old, you really don't know what to say. So my mother told me that I was just quiet. I did not say nothing the whole day. I did not say nothing the whole entire night. I was just quiet. I guess at 8 years old, that's a lot to take in, knowing that you were adopted, and it's kind of hard to wrap your mind around it because first of all, you're so young. Second of all, how? Like, I've been around you my whole entire life. You're all I know. You are my mother. So I guess at 8 years old, it was difficult for me to say something. So I guess the best thing was to be quiet. My mother told me as the days went by, she can see just a little change in me. Nothing big, but just a little bit. Going into my preteen years, I went to school after Hurricane Katrina. We moved to Texas, and we kind of was going around and around because, you know, the storm was a very big thing at the time. We moved to Cedar Hill, Texas, where I was raised. I began to go to school in Cedar Hill, and I started to act out. I began to be very rebellious to my mother, very disrespectful to my mother. I became very angry and very hurt as I got older and started to understand what being adopted really meant. So before I go any farther into the story, I want to just give y'all a brief background on my biological mother and my biological father. So my biological mother, she was a drug addict. She was an alcoholic. She was on drugs. She was on the street. She was from home to home. She wasn't stable. She could not take care of me. As she carried me, she did not take care of her body. She did not take in the proper nutrients to keep me safe or keep me healthy and going. But by the grace of God, I am healthy, I am blessed, I am beautiful, and I'm wonderful, and I'm very grateful. My biological father, he's Cuban. As far as I know, he really didn't know that much English. All I remember my mom telling me is that when he came to meet me as a little baby at the hospital, he would say, "She looks like my mom, she looks like my mom." My biological father was not able to take me because of his living situations, his living was not the best. He could not show the state of Louisiana that he had a stable home for me to go. So he was very hurt. He was crying. He did not want to leave me, but he could not show that he can take care of me. I know that he tried to encourage my mom to stay healthy, to take her vitamins so I can be healthy and so she can be healthy and be able to take care of me. But when you're on drugs and you're out and you strung out and you really not there in your mind, it's not going to just willingly come to you. You have to let God work them things out and work that out. So as I go on, I begin to, my teenage years, I begin to be very, very rebellious, very angry, very hurt. I can remember one day my mom told me, hey, after school, come home. And me being the rebellious child that I am, I did not come home. And in the result of that, she put me on punishment. And I can just remember acting out and just saying, I want my mom. I want my mom. And my mom, who's raised me, she was like, your mom? Really, that was very hurtful for her, for me to say. But what people have to understand is when you're hurting about a situation and then you have a person who can be hurt as well by your comments and your actions, it's like two different people, two different understandings, two different emotions. On my side, I'm emotional, I'm hurt, I'm going through a lot, I'm angry, it's painful, I feel the rejection. On her side, it's like, I'm your mother, I raised you, I gave you all that I can give you, I'm still raising you, I'm still doing the best that I can, and you're going to hurt me with those hurtful words. She had to be able to control her emotions as well as me controlling my emotions. She had to take a deep breath and step back and realize, like, my child is hurt. It's starting to affect her. So my mom began to put me in counseling. I remember opening up to the counselor about being adopted, and it's a very touchy subject. I can remember sometimes getting angry with the counselor and not wanting to talk to her sometimes and not wanting to open it up to her because it's really, really painful. It's really hard to talk about it. And at the time, I was very, very hurt. So as my teenage years went by and as I got older and I began to go to middle school and high school, I thought it was okay to open up to people and let people know, like, hey, I'm adopted. So I thought, hey, why not? Why not open up to people and tell them? So that's what I did. Well, little did I know I got teased. Growing up, I got teased about not knowing my biological mom. Kids would tell me, haha, that's why you don't know your mom. And that just really, really took a toll on me too, because I was already dealing with the anger and the pain and the hurt and the rejection, and then to have to wake up and go to school every day and deal with getting teased and people telling me, oh, haha, you don't have your mom, you don't know your mom. That was painful. It's like, dang, do I really have to wake up and go to school? Do I really have to go? I don't want to get teased anymore. I don't want to get talked about. It's not fair. People begin to really make a joke out of that, and let me tell y'all, that is nothing to make a joke about. It is not fun. I don't encourage nobody to talk about nobody in any bad situation, in anything that they're going through, because you don't know how your tease, your bullying can really affect somebody. And they're already going through a lot. They're already having to deal with a lot. You don't never know what somebody is going through at home. So please do not bully no one. Do not talk about no one. Do not put anyone down because you don't know what they're going through. So at the age of 18, I started to become curious and wanting to know my mother and my father. So my mother presented me with a baby book where they had kept information in there for me, like when I took my first steps, a little bit about my biological mom, a little bit about my biological dad. In this book, the only information that I had was my biological mother's name and my biological father's name. That is it. I did not have any other information. I did not have any of my siblings' names in this book. I did not have anything but these two names. So I began to search her on Facebook, and I began to become curious. Like I said, I was very, very curious. So I was politely, in a respectfully manner, messaging people like, hey, are you from Louisiana? Do you know of this hospital? Do you know of having a child at this hospital? Do you have kids? I tried to approach these women in a very calm, respectful manner. I did not want to freak anyone out at all. I did not get any hope with that. And it really felt like sometimes I was like really getting to a point where I felt like I was getting somewhere with meeting them, and then it looks like I got put 10 steps back. So it's like I started to get discouraged, and I started getting even more angry, and then even more just hurt, and like, why can't I find her? Why did she give me up? Why did she do this to me? And I'm gonna tell y'all, I'm gonna stop right there. Growing up, sometimes it is hard. Well, I'm not going to even say sometimes. It is very hard growing up to, like, knowing that you are adopted and knowing that you don't have your biological mom. But as I got older and become a young lady, I had to realize the question why, I already had the answer to my question. I just had to be able to mentally and emotionally wrap my head around my answer and accept that, hey, this is what it is. I had to just emotionally, physically, mentally accept that she was on drugs, she was on the street, she cannot take care of me. There's the answer to my why right there. But growing up, I did not want to accept that. I was so hurt, I was so angry, I was so bitter. I did not want to accept that. So I stopped looking for her. I stopped looking for him because I felt like I was not getting anywhere. So I just lived my life. I just had to realize that, okay, I'm not getting anywhere. So I began to have like bad attitude, angry, just like very, very disrespectful. Like I said, like I had a really bad issue with disrespecting adults and not, expecting authority. I always got in trouble in school. I constantly got suspended. I constantly got my teachers calling my mom saying, Miss Brown, Kayla is very disrespectful. She's very just rude, and she does not respect adults at all. So my mom had to try to figure out, what she can do to try to balance it out, try to get me to cooperate and act right. So at the age of 21, I began to seek counseling, like professional counseling. So I began to seek counseling at the Potter's House, where I go to church at. And I began to talk to my counselor, and she's talking to me, and we having sessions. And at this point, y'all, honestly, I was just trying to be like, okay, look, I'm coming to counseling to try to get over it. I don't want to look for her. I'm done. I don't care if she's dead or alive. I don't care. I don't want to talk to her. I don't care. I'm just going to accept the fact that I'm never going to meet this lady. I'm never going to meet this man. Let's move over. And what I forgot to mention is, my mom did tell me that I had a lot of siblings. I did have a lot of sisters and brothers, and that's all I knew. But she didn't know any names. We didn't know any names, so I couldn't even look up my siblings. I was wondering, like, I would go out to the store and go out to places, and people would just be staring at me, and I would just be like, oh, I wonder if that's my sister. I wonder if that's my brother. But I did not know, and I don't want to say anything. So at this point, as I was saying, I'm 21 years old, and I'm trying to figure out, okay, let it go. So one day I was just like, nah, I'm going to try one more thing. I'm going to call the city of Louisiana and call down to the city hall and see if they can give me any information. So I called the city of New Orleans, and I'm talking to her, and I'm on the phone with this lady named Cheryl, and I'm like, ma'am, I'm trying to find my mom and my dad, and I've been trying to find them for a really long time. Can you help me? And she was like, I can't do anything. I can't give you any information. I can't disclose any information. And I just remember getting so angry with her and saying, why can't you give me information? Why can't you tell me why? And I began to just break down and cry, and she was like, sweetie, I can't even get angry with you. I can't even get mad with you because I know you're hurting. I know your frustration. She was like, but sweetie, it's nothing I can do. She said, I can send you this form, and what you can do is fill it out and send a $25 money order and send it back. And if you have a match we would have to be able to, we would have to put you in counseling for 6 months and your matching counseling for 6 months before we can let y'all physically meet. I was like, no way, I don't want to do that. Like, no, because what if I pay my $25 and I don't even have no match in the system? I was like, oh my God. So I hung up in the lady face and I was just crying and crying and crying and crying and crying. So I got pregnant with my daughter. And at that point, I'm just like, okay, I'm about to be a mother. I have to let this go in order to be a great mom. I have to let the pain go. I have to let the anger go. So I began to go back to my counseling at the church and just tell her, like, I want to just let it go. I want to let it go. And I found myself sometimes, like, wondering why, like, why didn't anybody try to, I found myself very angry at my mother. Like, why wouldn't you try to keep up with them? Why didn't you keep pictures? And I was like, okay, you know what, I cannot get angry with her. She did the best thing that she could by raising me and taking me in as her own. And my mother told me that when she got me dressed up, I was a little bitty baby, and she got me dressed up to go to the hospital to meet my biological mom. And the state of Louisiana told my mother, Ms. Brown, you don't want to meet this lady. She's not in a good condition. She's not in the right state of mind. We don't want her to act out in front of the baby or, put you and Kayla in harm's way. So my mom was like, okay, but my mom was very, very willing and very, very understanding, and she wanted to meet my biological mother. She wanted me to be able to see my biological mother, but the state very, very encouraged her, like, no, Miss Brown, you don't want to meet this lady. So my mom, being the best mom that she can be, is like, no, okay, if it's gonna harm my baby, then I don't want to do it. So she didn't do it. Picking back on as I got older, okay, so eventually I gave up. I stopped looking. I didn't worry about it or nothing like that. So I got a job at this job, and let me tell y'all about this job. This was not my field. I am in the customer service field. I love customer service. I love helping people. I love speaking. I love talking. I'm a very outgoing person. I'm very, very energetic. So this field was totally different from me. I was like, what? I was like, really? No. But I believe God placed me at this job just for what he presented me with, and I'm getting ready to tell y'all that. So I got hired at this job, and I began working on this job, and I met a coworker, and we was just talking one day, me and her and our manager. We was just talking. Our manager began to tell us how she was adopted and that she just recently met her biological family. And then my coworker told me that her dad was not her biological dad. He was her, he had adopted her. So she was telling me how she recently found and got in touch with her biological daddy's family. So, of course, when you hear that, I kind of was scared at first to open up because, like I said, I was trying to forget about it. I did not want to open up any more wounds, and I just wanted to close that chapter of my life so I can move on, because at this point my daughter was one. She is one, and I'm just like, no, I can't be acting out in front of my daughter. So I was just like, nah, I was very, very skeptical on if I wanted to open up and let them know. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. And something just kept saying, do it. So I told him, like, oh, hey, I'm adopted too, my mom, I don't know my mom, I don't know my dad, I don't know nobody. My mom, who's been raising me and who adopted me, she's all I know. My sisters is all I know. They're all I know. So my coworker was like, what's your mom's name? So I told her my mom's name. And I told her my biological father name. And she was like, oh my God, girl, I really want to help you. Like, let me look them up. I promise you. And I'm going to get back with you and let you know. So I told her, I was like, okay, I'm going to give you their name. I'm going to give you my mother name and my father name. But I'm not going to like even get my hopes up, because I've been trying. So I doubt it if you find anything. I'm going to prepare my mind mentally for the worst and for the good. I basically told her, like, hey, to be honest, I'm going to wrap my mind around the worst, because I know you're not going to find them. So the next day she called me. Well, I was getting ready for work. It was around 2:30. And right before that, I was at the kitchen table and my mom was feeding my daughter. And I was like, hey, Mom, do you know my biological mom's birthday? And she was like, no, Kayla, I don't know it. And I was like, oh, okay. So my coworker called me and she was like, Kayla? And I was like, yeah. She was like, I found your family, girl. I found your family. I was like, please don't. I started crying, y'all, and I'm about to get teary-eyed. I'm so sorry. She was like, I found your family. I found your family. Oh, I'm sorry. And I just remember, oh, okay, I told myself I wasn't going to cry, y'all. I wasn't going to cry. I wasn't going to cry. I just remember falling on the floor and saying, my mom was right there. I was like, girl, please don't play with me. Please don't play with me. Don't play with me. She was like, yes, I got in touch with your sister, Naomi. And my mom, my biological mom, named me Jacqueline Pierre. So they were like trying to find me under Jacqueline Pierre and they couldn't. So she said, she asked my sister, do you know Jacqueline? And they just started screaming and crying and saying, yes, that's our sister. That's our sister. So, my coworker gave me my sister's number, and I remember telling my mom, like, hey, Mom, I don't want to call them. Like, I can't call. Like, I'm not ready. And my mom was like, no, you've been waiting for this. Like, call. I want you to call. So, I'm so sorry. I sat down at the table with my mom, and I called, and I'm like, hello? And she's like, hello? And I'm like, this is Jacqueline. And because my middle name is Jacqueline. My name is Kayla Jacqueline. And they knew me of Jacqueline. So I was like, this is Jacqueline. And she was like, oh my God, sister. And she just started crying and I started crying. And I just started crying, y'all. And I was just so happy. And I feel like God placed me on that job to meet my coworker just so I can meet my family. Because if y'all understand how hard I tried to find, like, my mom and my sisters, I tried my best. It was so hard. And when you feel like you get somewhere you not, it makes it even worse. So, she told me that I had, 9 sisters and I had 1 brother. And I was like, oh my God, are you serious? So, she started linking me up and telling me everything that she know. So I just remember asking her, like, do you know our mom? Do you talk to our mom? She was like, yes, I talk to our mom every single day. And I was like, are you serious? Please give me her Facebook. I want to see her. And let me tell y'all, the crazy thing about that is I tried to search this lady on Facebook so many times and I got nowhere. When she told me my mother's Facebook, her Facebook popped right up. And I was like, I never seen this face. And I've been typing in this name. And I just believe that it didn't show up because God wasn't ready for me to meet them yet. It wasn't ready. I wasn't emotionally, physically, mentally ready for that just yet. So I believe, like I said, I believe God put me at that job for a reason because I'm telling y'all, that was not my field at all. And I tell y'all now, like, I literally felt like God placed me there just for that because I'm not even on that job no more. Like, a month later, I left and God blessed me with a new job. So I talked to riding home. I had went to work that day and I just was hugging my coworker and saying, girl, you changed my life. Like, she really changed my life. Like, because she, like, it wasn't even 24 hours yet, and she told me. So I was just hugging her, and I was like, thank you. Like, oh my God, you don't know, you changed my life. And I couldn't even work that day, y'all. Like, I literally had to tell my manager everything because I wasn't gonna be productive. So I started getting emails after emails and notifications and stuff and phone calls and messages. They were so excited to meet me and they began to tell me stuff. So riding home that day, I guess they had told my biological mom and she called me and I just was stuck. I didn't even know what to say, y'all. Like, she was just apologizing to me and saying that she was sorry and that she loved me. And I just remember riding home in the car. And I was just like, I did not know what to say to her. I just was like, because I did not know what to say. I was just like stuck. And so I just hung up with her because I didn't know what to say. She kind of just gave me a brief background of my dad, how she met him, and how he was Cuban and he came from the islands and stuff. And we just talked. And I was just like I said, I was just stuck, y'all. I did not know what to say. I did not know what to say. So as the days went by, I kept in contact with my sisters. I was excited to talk to my brother. I have one brother. I was so excited to talk to my brother, and just a weight lifted off of me. I was like, oh my gosh, like, thank you, God. Like, thank you so much. This all I wanted was just to know them. So that's just recently, y'all. I just met them recently, about a couple of months ago. And so I'm still in the process of just coping, and I'm still healing, and I'm still just like, whew. But I'm not as angry as I was. I'm not as just rebellious and just so hurt. Like, I know it's going to take time, and it's going to take time, y'all. It's going to take time. But this is my healing process. I'm healing. I'm happy. I couldn't be no happier. And I'm going to just tell y'all, because I know this is about my adoption, but I just want to tell y'all something. God knows what he is doing when he do what he's doing. Okay? God know what he is doing. God know what he has for your life. God knew what he was doing when he did not place me with my biological mom or place me with my biological father. And let me tell y'all that I forgot to tell y'all. My grandmother had raised all the kids, like all my siblings. So I was very hurt about that as well, because I'm like, why you took all them but you didn't take me? Why you took all them but you didn't raise me? That's not fair. How could she take them and not take me? But I had to realize that she was older, she was up in age, and she had already took so many of my biological mother kids. When it got down to me, she was just like, I can't do it. I can't take anymore. Like, imagine, it's 10 of us. She had already had 6 of them. So that was a lot on her. And she was older, so I had to, growing up, I had to just accept that and realize, like, hey, she was old. You know, she had already had so many of this lady kids. But let me tell y'all, God know what he's doing when he do what he do, okay? When God does something or place you somewhere or put a calling over your life or bless you to be somewhere that you are called to be, please just be accepting to it, because it could have been worse. I could have been dead and gone right now. I could be on the street. I could be anywhere right now. No telling. But God had a plan and a purpose and a calling over my life and for my life, that he placed me with a phenomenal woman. Like, let me tell y'all, first of all, let's just stop right here. I have the most powerful, beautiful, strong, trustworthy, caring, beautiful, I know I said that, but she's literally beautiful, black queen in my life to raise me. I could not ask for not a better mother than what God placed in my life. When I tell you, I have the best mother on planet, on the earth. She is so wonderful, like wonderful, y'all. And I know I'm kind of jabbling a little bit because I'm very, very just in my emotions right now, but y'all bear with me. She's very phenomenal. She's a wonderful woman. I appreciate her. I love her. I couldn't thank her enough. It wasn't easy for her. When you take on that, when you take on a child, or whether it's a foster child, a child that's been adopted, you have to be prepared for that. That's why she said, when they asked her, hey, do you want this baby? She had to pray about it. You really have to pray about it, because you have to prepare your mind for what was getting ready to come. And she had to prepare herself for telling me that I'm adopted and dealing with what I was going to, like, how I was going to react to it. And she did a great job. She was patient. She never got upset with me. She never got if she was upset with me, she didn't show it towards me. She never just hit me or abused me. Whenever I would get angry at her and say hurtful things to her, my mom is the type of mom like this, and she's like this to this day. I'm gonna tell y'all, if you are like in her space and you doing too much, she gonna tell you, give me a minute, like I need to go have a moment. And she just quiet, and she just go watch her church, and she go to herself. And then when she's ready to talk to you, she would talk to you. But growing up, as I act out in school and I got suspended, she never did take out any anger out on me. She never did abuse me. She talked to me, she nurtured me. And every single time I would go to my mother about my adoption, she was very open with me. She was very understanding with me. She did not lie to me. She told me everything that she can tell me about it, everything that she knew about it. And I'm so happy that God placed her in my life. I don't know what I would do without my mother. I'm telling y'all, I don't care if it's your biological mother, your mother that is raising you, whether it's your grandmother, anybody in your life that has raised you and took care of you, respect them. Respect them, because once they close their eyes and they gone, that's it, y'all. You don't get another mama, you don't get another grandma, you don't get another father. Whoever is raising you and taking care of you, respect them. Just call them up and tell them I love you. That goes a long way. My mom is my rock. She's my hero. She's my everything. Like my baby, y'all, my baby is spoiled to the T. I was spoiled. And I know, I'm going to tell y'all this as well that I didn't share. Sometimes I had that feeling like people were like, why are you hurting? Why are you upset? You have a beautiful room, because my mom had it laid out for me. Every time people would come to the house, they would say how beautiful my room was, how beautiful. She gave me the latest everything. I had the latest everything. I was dressed nice. She kept my skin up. I had the best room, the biggest bed. She kept me up. And people would say how good of a mom she was, how I was well kept up and my room was beautiful. But people tend to say, oh, why are you hurting, or why are you mad? Look what you have. Be happy for what you have. It's not that you're not happy. It's not that I'm not happy for what I already have. I know that I'm blessed. I am grateful. I am so grateful. Grateful, grateful, grateful. But that does not mean I don't hurt. That does not mean that I'm not allowed to hurt. You hurt. You hurt. You go through things. You are bitter sometimes. You are rebellious sometimes. You angry all the time. So it's not the material things that matters. Yes, I had a beautiful room. Yes, I had beautiful things. Yes, I was taken care of. So I'm not allowed to hurt because of those things. No, you are allowed to hurt. You're allowed to go through what you go through in your situations. You just have to learn how to just cope it and pray and ask and give it up to God and give it to God and ask God to just take it away, heal it, touch you. I just had to give it up. I had to be like, look, I'm not going to find them. I'm not. I have to give it up. Or I just had to let go at the time and give it to God and just be like, I'm telling y'all, I let it go. I was like, okay, I'm not going to do it no more. I was like, God, if it's for me to meet them, please show me a sign. Put me where you want me to go, to lead me and direct me in the path that I need to go to be able to meet them. And he did just that. He placed me on that job to meet them. He placed me on that job to meet my coworker, to help me find my biological parents and my biological family. And I kid y'all not, he blessed me with another job literally the next month. So it just goes to show that sometimes you have to step up out of your comfort zone, do something different, go the different route, to be able to find and heal and see what God has for you. Sometimes it's going to be uncomfortable. Sometimes you're going to go through things that it's just like, why am I keep going through this? Because I kept feeling like, why do I keep going through the same old thing? I'm trying to find them. I'm trying to look and I'm not getting anywhere. Like, why aren't you helping me, Lord? And it's really, really important that you just not question God and you just give it up to him and you just let it over. I will be sharing more about my journey since I'm met my biological family and I am talking to them. I do speak to my sisters on a day-to-day basis. So I will be sharing more about that and how's that going and how's my connection with them going. As of right now, you know, we just still talking. We still getting to know each other. It's going good. So I will be sharing with y'all more about keeping y'all up to date more about that and how that going. I'm telling y'all, like, I'm so happy. I'm so grateful. I'm so proud of myself. I have came a long way, y'all. I was very angry. I was very, very angry. I could remember just acting out one day and punching a hole in my room wall. And my mom at that point was just like, what do I do? I just want to, like, give a big, huge shout out to my sisters. Like, they never treated me any different. I've always felt like that was my sisters, my biological sisters. Because, like, blood couldn't make us any closer. Like, they did not treat me any different, and to this day they don't treat me any different. Like, I bug my sisters all the time because I'm the baby of the family, so I call my sisters and I bug them all the time. But, like, I love my sisters and they love me, and I love my nieces and I love my nephew. Like, the whole entire family never made me feel any different. They still to this day don't make me feel any different. I love them so much. I love them. I love them. I love them, and I love them, and I want them to know that I love them. And just keep a strong bond with the person that raised you. Like, my mother, I tell you, I could not ask for a better person to raise me. Well, I'm going to go ahead and end this video out. I hope that y'all enjoy. I told myself, like, hey, before the camera even started, I'm like, I'm not going to get emotional. But as y'all see, it's very emotional. It does get emotional still because it's like, wow. I do hope that y'all enjoy. I hope that y'all can take from this story. I hope that I could inspire y'all in any kind of way. In any way, I hope that I can motivate y'all and encourage y'all. And I'm just going to encourage y'all, don't give up. If you are adopted and you are looking for your biological parents, don't give up. I just recommend that you give it to God and pray. When you feel like it's not going the way that you want it to go, give it to God and watch God change things. Even if you're not adopted and you're going through things with your biological mother, or your biological mother is not there as much as you need her to be there, pray. Give it to God and watch things change. Pray. Prayer changes things. I promise y'all. Prayers go a long way. As a young mother, I'm still learning that. I just had to get to that place where I was like, okay, because I did not want my daughter to see me angry. I don't want my daughter to ever see me act out or act crazy. So I just encourage y'all to pray. I encourage y'all to give y'all bad situations, good situations, whatever situation you are going through or any situation that you're in trouble about, I just encourage you to give it over to God. Like I said, I hope that my story will be able to encourage y'all and help y'all. Like I said, I will be sharing a lot more about my adoption as my journey goes on with knowing them and getting to know them. And I will let y'all know on anything that I find out differently, any new things that I find out, because I'm telling y'all, like, as I get older, I find new things about my parents. I find out new things about my siblings. I find out something new every single day. So I will be keeping y'all updated with that. I appreciate each and every last one of y'all, and if nobody haven't told y'all today, I love y'all. I care about y'all. I'm here to motivate and encourage y'all. I hope that my story can just really encourage y'all and inspire y'all. Please pray and give it over to God. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Please follow my Facebook page at Motivational Speaking. Please stay encouraged, stay healthy, stay powerful. You are a queen. You are beautiful. You are lovely. God made you just the way you are. On my Facebook page, y'all can also have access to my website. I do blogs, so y'all can go on there and check some of my blogs out. I will be encouraging y'all, not only on my Facebook page, but on my blogs. I will be encouraging y'all. I hope y'all enjoy, and I hope to see y'all back really soon. Have a wonderful day, a night, because I know all y'all are in different places. So if it's nighttime, have a wonderful night. If it's morning time, have a wonderful morning. If it's evening, have a wonderful evening. I appreciate y'all, and I thank y'all so much. Have a wonderful day.